Howdy friends, Guthrie Trap here coming to you from my living room this evening. Playing my old Gibson L00 from 1933. I love this guitar. This is one of my favorite guitars to play. Just sitting around, picking. It records really, really well. These old Gibsons record so well. When the strings get a little bit older, they really, really sound good. Most other guitars like Martins and Taylors and all these other acoustic guitars, when the strings go dead, they really sound dead. Like rubber bands. When Gibson strings go dead start going dead on an acoustic, they really find a nice sweet spot. And engineers love these guitars because they don't have to EQ anything out of them. They're just really, really great flat, and they have a great mid-range. Even the old J50 I have is just a great guitar in the studio. And you can tell this thing just, the high notes are really sweet, Love this guitar. So anyway, yeah, just coming to you from the house here this evening. Wanted to continue on with the YouTube stuff. Thanks for all the positive comments on the last one about the lifestyle changes. Man, it's just something I got to do. It's I've been partying for a long time, and it's time to kind of to try the other side for a while. So thanks for that, and I'm looking forward to it. I already feel really good. I'm got more energy, motivated, inspired. And things are starting to look good. So really appreciate that. This lesson I wanted to focus on a little bit. I know I'm playing the acoustic guitar and kind of some like folky bluegrassy vibes there at the beginning of that. But I will say I want to title this little mini lesson here called "Get Free." Let's try to get free. And so the thing about this is when we're locked to these big chord shapes, F, G, C, all these shapes, you got to know those shapes, but it's about getting inside of those and looking at the usable parts of it. You have to know these constellations of the key notes in these chords to be able to get around. That's a fundamental that you have to have, and you have to know that stuff under your fingers and be able to see it and point to it without even having your hand in the chord shape. Be able to point to these key chord tones in C and F and G. And so you got to see those, and you got to kind of start getting into that. But eventually we want to just have that as a fundamental in the muscle memory, and we want to get on to making music. And so that's the ultimate goal here, is to get free. Let's play some music. And so that little exercise, or that little improvisation at the beginning of this, the C to F to G kind of folky bluegrassy kind of stuff, cross picking kind of style. You notice that I'm going to the G chord. Actually, first let's do the F. Going from C to F. I'm not holding down this big chord. I'm starting by playing, a G, right to the major third of that C. I'm loosening up. I'm using these two fingers here. Then I'm eventually marking the root by hitting the C, the low C note, of course, But then I've just got two fingers on the fingerboard, so I'm loosening up. I don't want to be having to mark these big chords everywhere, or my other fingers have no where to go as far as playing these other melody notes and stuff. That's why we're going to be using triads. See, so I'm holding down a triad with my first finger, but I'm able to use all those other fingers to play, to make music, to make melodies, to create lines, to do stuff. And so if we're locked into these big chord changes or big chord shapes, we're not able to get free. And so let's get free. So here, playing partials, playing triads, two notes, or two fingers, right? There's an F, major 7, right? Just moving that 1 that one finger up from the major third of C to the tonic of F, right? Just right to that F. So doing this kind of stuff. Then marking the tonic, the root, right? So this little cross picking. I'm going to the G, I'm just hitting one note of G. I'm using my ring finger. I'm playing G with one finger. G, D, G, maybe that B if I want, or I might hit the D with my little finger. But that little thing there, I might just go to the third. I'm using the C major scale to walk down. That F note becomes the flat 7 of G, which makes it sound like you're playing over the G7, leads you to that tone. There's the major third of G, the B. There's my G, right? So I might mark the root in a second, but right, so then I'm loosening up again. Right, so literally playing G with just that one finger. Now if I want to hit the F to make a G7, those little things, little harmonies of the scale. Right, just those little moves like that. Watch. E, the major third of C. That little slide up. Now I am doing some cross picking and stuff like that, which you're going to say, well, man, you know, your right hand's doing some kind of complex stuff, but it doesn't have to. We can strum this whole thing. I'm still picking a little bit in there to make it interesting rather than just going. Right? That's just going from G to F to, from C to F to G. Now when you put the cross picking and stuff in there, it does add a lot. You're adding some melodies and stuff like that. But, so, it would be the equivalent of playing like, in the key of E, and doing these little 2-note chords. I say 2 notes, 2 fingers. So I'm using the bass note, the 5, and the major third in the high E. So I'm going in that little A shape out of your G shape. So like that kind of stuff. You're playing the chord changes, but you're not locked into these big shapes, is what I'm saying. I'm not asking you to play any of this note for note or learn any of this stuff note for note. Of course, I'm playing it a little bit more complex than you have to or whatever. But I'm just saying, you don't have to, when I say play out of the chord shapes or learn the cage system, it's not about playing out of these big shapes and going, oh God, I'm locked into this big shape. What do I do? It's like, no, we want to visualize it more than we want to play the whole thing, is what I'm saying. So, if I'm playing out of this big shape, I'm seeing this, you're right. things, little melodies, right? Now it does help when you hit the bass note, but just getting into that stuff, I mean, getting into marking these chord tones too. Just doing that little exercise there, this kind of stuff. You know, that's marking training your ear where to resolve to and where to lead up to. So if I just went like this, none of that really makes any sense. But if I target the release notes and the target notes, which are of course your 1, 3, 5, you know, I'm going to get this. Here's on the high, fretting the high E string against the B. Might seem real simple to you, but you know, that's good exercise. That's good for your ear. Another against the high E string, we can do fret the B string now. That whole thing is kind of like, I just want to call this kind of like getting free, you know, free your mind of being locked down to these big chord shapes, you know, using some of these partials. And it's hard to keep this stuff going with an acoustic guitar where you are hitting the bass notes to make it sound full enough. My point of all this is, if you have a band behind you or another player, and then you're able to kind of get free a little easier. But to do all this, you know, and keep the bass notes and the guitar sounding full and doing that thing, it's a little tricky. But that's the idea, you know. Take these big chords like this big A chord, and break it down. I didn't mean to do the G string, but the D string. Go to E. Perfectly in tune, but you get the idea, right? So let's see. So just get into kind of maybe doing some of this little cross-picking stuff where you're taking a big chord and kind of breaking it down into just a couple, you know, a couple where you're only using a couple fingers on the fretboard to get some of these cool sounds. It's almost like playing in open tuning where you're able to strum the whole guitar to get a nice chord, and then you're only fretting one fret to get the 4 and the 5 and maybe this, you know, the minor and stuff like that. But it's just a way to kind of maybe approach this in a different way one day, just to have some fun with it. You know, we got to keep this stuff fun. We get so bogged down with like, okay, you know, what's the theory behind this? And you know, I know the circle of fifths, but I'm not able to make music, or I know the scale and I'm not able to make music. Well, we eventually just have to start, you know, we have to jump in the deep end of the pool at some point and just start, messing with this, manipulating the major scale, changing the order of certain notes to where we kind of break out of that and start making music, because that's the end goal in all of this. Is we don't want to just sit there and go, okay, well, I know all my C major scale, I know my, all my scales everywhere, Okay, that's great, but you gotta, once you get that down and you know it, then you gotta kind of break this stuff up a little bit, where you might go, those are all notes of the major scale, but I'm targeting the third, the 1, the 5. So if I just sit there and went like that, over C. Sorry. Those are all exercises and stuff that I've worked out, all the, going back and forth, A lot of this stuff comes from, a lot of my right hand stuff comes from playing bluegrass for so long, where it is a lot of down, up picking. And so that has a lot to do with the efficiency of my right hand, I think. Because I do stay pretty, it's pretty economical down there. But anyway, a little quick lesson there. Don't forget to check out the links below. I hope you got something out of that. That's just something I've been thinking about, getting free. And so anyway, like I said, check out the links below if you want to expand on any of these concepts that you're seeing. Artist Works being the best. I'm about to get do a bunch of updates with them and keep this thing fresh and crisp for you. Also, definitely check out my website, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that stuff, all the social media. I'm easy to find, Guthrie Trap. And then check out, I got a tip jug below if you want to help me buy a sandwich or some coffee. And then also, please check out private lessons, Zoom and Skype, and that's going great. I'm doing those all the time. And these guys are giving me a lot of positive feedback, and they're learning a lot. So, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning how to teach better and explain this stuff better. And so there's no shortcuts. The best thing you can do is spend a lot of time on your instrument. It doesn't matter how much I try to explain this stuff. You have to spend time with this instrument in your hand. That's the only way you're going to get better at it. And so that is the shortcut. So anyway, enough talking. Good to see you guys as always, and look forward to seeing you real soon. And yeah, guys, thanks again for all the positivity and all the just a beautiful guitar and music community here. So thanks again. See y'all soon.